What's going on, guys? It is Shay here. Welcome back to another video, and today, everybody, welcome back to another tier list. This is going to be my, once again, as I said, my final tier list for JoJo for right now. There probably won't be a part 6 tier list, even if I do watch it, like, in full. But so far, this is the last part of JoJo I will most likely watch in full, and I like how I say that, and I'll be freaking done with part 6 next March, or March or some crap like that. So yeah, got some pretty good characters for the start here. So man, okay, so basically, funny enough, I will have the most knowledge of part 5 right now because this is the part I have recently finished, and so recently is to the point where it was like, how would you say, roughly, like maybe, I don't even know, 4 or 5 days ago is when I finished this. Well, probably a little bit less than that, but we're gonna go ahead and start this freaking tier list. And funny enough, from my last tier list video, I did not expect it to be that long. I really thought it was gonna be at least about a good 10-20 minutes, but it was longer than the part 3 tier list, which had more characters in it. Maybe I might have not really explained it much, but hopefully this one won't be as long. So yeah, with that being said, let's begin. Okay, so the first character we have here is Leon Abracadabra. Now, out of the group, I have a feeling that Abracadabra might have been my least favorite out of the group, probably beside Fugo, but let's talk a little bit about Fugo. Let's talk a little bit about Abracadabra. So at first, dude was a cop. He was a police officer, and he, I guess in that time, it was, I guess it's like, people, I guess it's some of those types of people were like, oh, why didn't you do this? Or you did this, oh my God, why did you do that? Stuff like that, where they think you freaking 2 people or like 10 people at once, basically. Now, one thing I will say about this though, is that ever since Abracadabra's partner got killed by that gangster or by the thug, he just really felt like he had nothing else to live, like nothing else to really live for. And as far as I know, he isn't afraid to die. I don't think any of the gang is afraid to die, probably except Fugo. But as far as I know, Abracadabra is one of the very few people, who really isn't afraid to die, who's not afraid of death, and doesn't care what comes his way. So, I don't know, dude. Abracadabra has a really cool design, and his time as a police officer was kind of cool. He had to accept the bribe then and there because, because it's like, apparently in the thing, it was like, no matter, even if the dude does go to jail, he's gonna get released on bail instantly. So, Abracadra's gonna go with that A tier. So the next character that we have here is Bruno Bucciardi, who is the leader of the what even is the name of the gang that Bucciardi leads? I forgot. I don't even know if they had a name, but he is the leader of that gang. Now, to be honest with you, way before I even got into JoJo, like maybe 2019 or so, I really thought Bruno was a female. I thought he was a girl at first. I mean, on first sight, minus the abs and the freaking muscles, I mean, there's a good chance you might actually think he is a female on first look. But I just had to get it out of the freaking way. Well, way before I was a JoJo fan. Let's just wait. And mind you, I became a JoJo fan in last year. So yeah, so that was like well before it. So I really thought Bruno was a female, and the more you think about it, and if you look at it a certain way, he might actually just be a female. He's to me, he's kind of like the father or mother of the group. I mean, he kind of is, and his backstory, dude was living a real good life. His parents didn't abuse him or any of that shit. His dad, really, was freaking. I think who raised him the most, or who took care of him the most, was his dad, right? Especially after his mom left. And it was kind of sad because the only time he was able to see his mom was on Christmas, even after mostly after she remarried to another dude, to another man. But it's kind of sad that he was only able to see his mom on Christmas, which is kind of sad. So what even made him, oh yeah, I know what caused him to become a gangster, when his dad drove these two I guess drug dealers to somewhere. He witnessed it. They blasted him freaking multiple times, and when they came back to try to silence him even more, Bruno was there with freaking knives at the ready. Dude freaking, he stabbed one of them in the eye. He killed both of them, I do that for a fact, and that's what sent him into a life of a gangster, which I like his backstory. It's pretty freaking cool. His stand freaking also forgot. Why do it's like 1 minute I talk about their stands, 1 minute I don't. But Sticky Fingers, I was about to say Zipper Man. I hate that localized name, but Sticky Fingers probably has one of the coolest stand cries in my opinion. But Sticky Fingers, he can freaking, you know, place zippers on everything, you know, open them up and go through, or even go in it, you know, into that, or probably go, you know, put zippers somewhere, you know, open up the place, whatever, which is kind of cool. He could also, you know, heal, you know, somebody, you know, attach a limb back on and stuff like that. So Bruno is going right up here with Abakio. So yeah, I really like Bruno as a character. Also, I refer to him as Bruno a lot instead of his last name. But anyways, the next guy that we have here, or the next character that we have here, is the dude who got blasted by Mista and died almost on impact. Oh, well, he died on impact. I think he died from that first bullet he shot at him, but his stand still lived on. In a way, his stand was invincible. You couldn't fucking kill it. You couldn't freaking slice it. You couldn't freaking bash it to death. You couldn't do anything. And even if you got just close to that thing or even touched it, just the slightest freaking touch like that, you would automatically, like, the thing will automatically just freaking start crawling on you, trying to, you know, tear off your freaking things, to the point where Giorno damn near died trying to, you know, get rid of the thing. And the only way he got rid of it was, or the only way they got rid of it was when the plane crashed and stuff like that. This dude was really useless in my opinion. I mean, this dude looks like if Pesci was like beefier and crap, but we put him ahead that freaking D tier. The next character that we have here is Chocolata, who is probably the most insane person I've ever seen in the show. He's kind of like about to say Dan of Steel, Steely Dan from Part 3, but a lot less, well, a lot more, or like much more freaking like insane and crazy. First off, this dude became a doctor for the simple fact just to fucking kill people and to torture them. And apparently he did human surgery, or wanted to do like you know, surgeries on humans when he was like way younger. Like I'm pretty sure even before he became a doctor. And if I'm not mistaken, he became a doctor at the age of 14. Is that even possible in real life? I highly doubt it is, but maybe I'm just thinking wrong. But yeah, this dude is probably the most craziest guy in this entire show, and I do not like him for that. And he deserved that 7-page Muda. So yeah, we're gonna put him at that shadow realm because of how freaking crazy he is. The next character we have here is the turtle. Is his name, what is his name? Mr. President or something like that? I think that's his name. But I mean, you know, Polnareff eventually, you know, his spirit or his soul eventually inherited the turtle, and I think it still lives on actually. And I mean, bro, if you want to go in there and chill, just have a little alone time, just go in there, just go, yeah, just, you know, relax in here, you know, just doing that, then it's a really cool thing. So he's automatically going up here. So the next character that we have here is Diavolo, who is the titular villain, or the titular antagonist of Part 5. Now, this dude has went through everything, basically. He's went through many freaking cycles. This dude has went through, you know, a lot of things. You know, this dude has even inherited himself into someone, or in a way, Doppio is his second personality, where he tries to make himself like an innocent little kid, but he really is just this truly freaking, like, just like vile, worthless freaking and ruthless murderer who has killed his wife. I think he killed his wife, right? I don't necessarily remember, but dude has King Crimson, which is probably one of the cooler looking enemy stands. Dude has 2 freaking faces, and I think the face up here is what allows him to stop time, right? Or allows him to jump through time. If I'm correct, I hope that's actually the case. But he has one of the cooler looking enemy stands, and like, I don't know, just a freaking red and white with the you know, like kind of like a freaking what is it, what do you even call it, a flannel kind of thing. So in terms of an enemy, it was kind of cool to see Bruno kind of, you know, go inside freaking Diavolo's body like that. So it's kind of cool. And then we see him, you know, go back to the thing and, you know, do forever have dreams. He's going at that B tier. So the next character that we have here is Doppio, who is the second personality of Diavolo. Now, I've already explained that the only funny thing about Diavolo, about Doppio, is that the little freaking telephone thing. How can I even replicate it? Let's try and see. I hope that's how you do it, but that's like one of the funniest, or probably if not the funniest thing about Doppio for me. However, though, I have a feeling if Doppio was, you know, a separate person and not just somebody else's personality or someone else's like alter ego, I could really see him just being just an ordinary nice kid, you know. This dude for real uses anything he can get his hands on as a telephone, basically. And in a way, he also commands King Crimson, but not really. But just like Diavolo, actually, we gotta switch Diavolo's position. He's a really cool looking freaking villain. We gotta put him at that A tier. Doppio, you're probably gonna stay down here at that B tier. So the next character that we have here is Formaggio, who is like, I guess, Narancha's, like, I guess, the villain he had the most trouble with. He has that stand, I forgot the name of it, but it can make him shrink or make things with it shrink. And just like in one of the episodes when he was fighting Narancha, this dude literally freaking shrank a car, and like, you know, and I guess as an assassination attempt or for assassination to kill someone, and they literally either turn into a car or the car just busted him freaking open and killed the dude's wife alongside it. I mean, it's kind of cool, you know, to just be able to kind of shrink yourself and stuff like that. He was also able to shrink himself to the point where he's able to get into the back of Naranja's pocket, or his pant pockets or whatever. But I don't know, dude. This dude was also crazy. I mean, he's a little bit less crazy than Chocolata, but dang, dude, I don't even know. We're going to put him at a C tier. So the next character that we have here is Panacotta Fugo, who probably has one of the more sadder backstories of the main five protagonists. Now, the reason why I say that is because if you look at his backstory, I don't know if he actually, hang on, give me a second. Actually, give me one quick second. But if you look at his backstory, or you know, watch his backstory, I mean, like, dude, it's just so freaking, what's going on here? It's just so freaking, like, just real sad, because I don't know if he freaking consented to going to the professor's house and doing that stuff. Like, I don't know, dude, because it was just really sad to me, dude. It was really freaking sad to me, because, you know, he was like, bro, just stop that, dude, until he had enough of it and just started just freaking bashing dude's head in with that book, which I'm pretty sure could probably actually give someone some blunt force trauma or some crowd in real life due to how freaking heavy the book is. And his voice actor in that scene, and especially in the original Japanese, he did a real good job, dude. Like, he did, I have to say this, but his voice actor in the original, man, did he do a good job at, you know, at trying to freaking convince everybody that this dude was that Fugo was just freaking just in a fit of fucking rage, dude. Like, this dude did a real good job, but I really do like his stand. His stand, Purple Haze, is probably one of the more violent stands, if not probably the most violent stand out of every single one of them. First off, this dude doesn't even have to be doing anything. He could just be a threat, like a menace to society, by just sitting there and just going, just like freaking, just going like, you know, like a starving dog, like a starving like bulldog or some crap. And the one thing I really like about Purple Haze is his stand cries and what it sounds like when he actually punches somebody. When he punched Illuso, is that his name? Which he's a couple characters away. But when he was punching him, if you hear it, it sounds like flesh just getting freaking. It sounds like someone's getting stabbed, or sound like flesh is getting freaking torn off or getting slashed. It's really freaking. It's pretty freaking scary. But Fugo as a person. I don't know why I just thought of the freaking scene where he had a jacket in his hand, he's doing it on the ground, you know, got mad. He's also, I think he's bipolar actually, because this dude can get mad in a freaking snap. If you freaking do that, this dude will get mad instantly. I think he's bipolar, dude. He has to be. But I don't know, dude. We're gonna put Fugo at a B tier. Also, he was the only member of the crew to not go with Bruno when, you know, they went to go find Diavolo. He was the only person not to go because he was like, bro, I ain't trying to die. Which I can clearly see why he doesn't want to go. Because I'm like, bro, I got more things to do than to go chase after some freaking dude who we know we can't kill. Well, that's what he thought probably. But anyways, the next character that we have here is Giacchio, who was probably my favorite character of the enemy gang team, or the enemy gang. Because I don't know, dude, it's kind of like Fugo, where if he finds the smallest thing that he knows he can get mad at, you already know this dude is about to freaking go crazy. I mean, we saw that when he was trying to find what's his name? He was trying to find Giorno. He was doing that. He was like, you know how, you know, it's supposed to be, like, what is it? Venice is how it's supposed to be said. It's supposed to be said I don't know how to pronounce it in the Italian way, or like how Paris is supposed to be pronounced Perry or Potty, I think that's how you say it. But everybody says Paris, and then he gets freaking mad at that. And his, I mean, like, also like his stand, what's it called? White Album. I thought it was, I don't know why I was thinking something else, but I'll do like his stand White Album. It's kind of cool. To the point where basically if he has that thing on, you can't do shit to him. And if you get into water, oh, it's game over for you, especially if you ain't skilled enough to take him out. We putting Giacchio at that A tier. But next character that we have here is Giorno Giovanna, who is the titular character of Part 5. Now, Giorno and Josuke are probably my least favorite JoJo's. Josuke is obviously my least favorite, but I really do like Giorno. First off, as a person, and also because of his stand. Now, Golden Experience or Gold Experience. Gold Experience is kind of like a more buffed version of Crazy Diamond, where he can heal you, but he also makes makes different body parts at the same time. And I also really like the noise it makes when he makes different body parts, which is really freaking cool. And Giorno is also one of the four, is the only one out of the 4 kids of Dio that actually wants to help people and not want to freaking take over the world, as far as I know. But I really do like Giorno. His theme song, we already know, like his theme song is iconic, really freaking iconic. Like it's recognizable by anybody. I think it's even recognizable by people who doesn't even watch JoJo, and that says a lot. And it's funny because a lot of people actually know Giorno or know who's coming in by that freaking theme song, because you know it's mainly used for him as far as I know. But yeah, Giorno and Gold Experience, and also he ends up obtaining Gold Experience. I like to call him Golden Experience, but Gold Experience Requiem, where I guess it's just a slightly more buff version of the original Gold Experience. But you already know, we gotta put Giorno in that A tier. Next character that we have here is Illuso, who is one of the other, or if not the first guy of the enemy gang that Bucciarati's crew first run into. Now, it was only just Fugo, Abbacchio, and Giorno. It was only just those 3 that first run into him. And basically what he can do is that it was called Man in the Mirror is his stand name, right? He traps you in there and can just kill you, basically, you know? But he ended up dying to Purple Haze with the freaking, the poison thing. I also forgot to mention about that when I was talking about Fugo. But I don't know, dude. We're going to put Illuso at that C tier. So the next character that we have here is Jotaro Kujo in Part 5. Now, unlike the previous parts, you know, parts 4 and 3, Jotaro does nothing in this part. He's literally only featured once, or actually, no, he's featured actually more than once. He's featured maybe a couple times, especially in the flashbacks, you know, to the point where it goes back to where him and Polnareff were back in Egypt after the fight with Dio. I think it was 2 years after. It was in the 90s as far as I know. But here, Jotaro literally does nothing. All he does is just freaking talk to, or the current version of him at the time, all he literally does is just talk to Koichi over, you know, over the phone and stuff. But still, though, since he didn't really do anything, I'm just going to put him at a B tier. But I do like the outfit, though. It's kind of cool. But anyways, that's the next character that we have here, and that is Koichi Hirose in Part 5. Now, we didn't really see him much. We only saw him for like 4 episodes, and then he ended up, you know, I take it he ended up leaving, or we just probably didn't see him anymore. But, you know, just same old Koichi, you know? We also see the return of Echo's Act 3 again, where I think he also did the freaking thing where he's on, where was it, 3 freeze, where he's able to, you know, punch the dude's arm into the ground. He did that to Giorno. But, you know, same old Koichi. So we're going to put him at that B tier. I also really like the, you know, the outfit, or like his, I guess, like the school jacket that he has in this part. I like the blue color a lot more than freaking, what's his name? The green one. And I also do like the fact that apparently he got either he got Rohan to make him be able to speak Italian, or did he actually learn it? I'm not sure. But anyways, the next character that we have here is Malone, who I always like to freaking call the rejected Incredibles supervillain or superhero, basically. He literally looks like someone that you would see in Incredibles. Like freaking, like prove it, like say that I'm wrong, but this dude really does look like something you would see in Incredibles. It's freaking funny. But I also really do like his catchphrase, Di Morto. Apparently that actually doesn't make sense in its respectful language. Apparently it means much something, apparently. But apparently it doesn't actually, you know, correspond to what he's supposed to be saying. But he has to stand Babyface is what his name is, where basically he could basically just impregnate women or make women give birth without actually having sex with them, basically. This dude ended up getting killed by a poisonous snake made by Gold Experience. And I don't know, dude, we're gonna put him at that B tier. I mean, I actually kind of did like, I kind of did like Malone's design. It was kind of cool. And you know, he also has like that long range stand bullshit. So, but the next character that we have here is Guido Mista, who is my favorite character of part 5. Now, the reason why he's my favorite character, not just because that, you know, he's a gun wielding stand user, but he also has one of the coolest backstories in the show. Well, to me, he does, because he was just living an ordinary life, dude, until, you know, he saw this freaking woman about to get, you know, assaulted. I'm not gonna say the other word, but, you know, getting freaking sexually assaulted in a car by some dude. He I don't even know if I have the balls to do that in real life. To the point where dude literally goes into the car or opens the door, drags the guy who was assaulting that woman out, kneels the crap out of him to the point where he starts spitting up, to the point where he almost threw up, basically. And apparently this dude has extreme plot armor when he was first introduced, like, you know, and, you know, back at that time, because when he was getting shot at, especially by the dude's brothers, none of those bullets hit him. And also it's kind of cool because I like the gun that he used the gun that he first used to kill somebody with, which was a Colt Official Police. I do like that, which is also introduced to, you know, why he uses the gun, you know, I guess why he's a gun wielding stand user. But you already know he going at that S tier. I really love Guido Mista. Mista, I don't know why, dude, but the only thing I really like I don't know, like, it's something like about him that I really freaking like. Well, for one, he also I guess, what does he do? Partakes in the torture dance. But something about him that he actually has like some sort of freaking fear against number 4, which he says, or which apparently means it's actually like bad luck toward him, which is the reason why none of his Sex Pistols are number 4. And speaking of Sex Pistols, that's the stand that he masters. Sex Pistols, basically, or 6 bullets, the localized name. I like to call them Sex Pistols. But basically, you know, every time he fires a bullet from any gun, because, you know, Mista can use any gun, but he pretends to use a revolver because he opens up the thing, boom, he gets like, you'll do his head like that, and the Sex Pistols can help reload the bullets. But the next character that we have here is Narancha Gurga. I think that's it. I don't know. I really hope I'm not saying. I think I'm most likely butchering his last name. But, you know, I'm just gonna call him by his first name. But Narancha, probably has one of the more tragic backstories, probably alongside Giorno. I also forgot to talk about Giorno's backstory. You know, they were both abused by their dads. Well, in Giorno's case, it was a stepdad. But I think for what's his name, Narancha, I think he was I think both of them were abused as well. But Narancha, I think his turn to a gangster, like to the life of a gangster, was after he was accused of murder, or after accused of bashing someone's head in, when it was a random dude on the street that was like, hey bro, dye your freaking hair blonde like me. So, and basically, other words, he was basically saying, hey, dye your hair so that way I can get away with murder, basically. And he was basically considered, you know, and his mom had that freaking eye, you know, that like some sort of disease with her eye. And, you know, they started making fun of it. They started, you know, making fun of it to the point where he was like, you know, bro, don't freaking come near me, because dude got his freaking eye, like, he got a black eye at one point. Well, and we sadly don't see Narancha ever again after he was impaled by, you know, by, what is it? I forgot who impaled him, but Narancha had the saddest death in the show. I gotta say that. He had the saddest death in the show. But yeah, even more than Bruno, because Bruno was already dead after his encounter with King Crimson the first time. Excuse me. He also commands the stand, or he also masters the stand, Aerosmith. And you know, it's basically just freaking helicopter, or just a freaking what looks to be some sort of freaking World War II airplane. Freaking comes around, and if he spots you, you get blasted in the face, basically. It's kind of like Keiichiro Nijimura's Bad Company, but in one package, and I think slightly more powerful. But you already know, Narancha got to go at that A tier. So the next character we have here is Pericolo, who is the guy who originally was kind of in charge of, you know, I'm not saying necessarily in charge, but he was the one, or I guess to kind of keep, you know, he was the first one to keep Trish at first, until he passed down the mission to Bruno's gang. Now, I ain't gonna lie, dude. He took a freaking liking to most of the freaking to every single one of Bruno's members, including Bruno himself. But he sadly killed himself later on the show. I think because he was discovered. He was, you know, someone found out who he actually was, and I guess he had to take that way out, and boom, he just freaking died. But I really do like Pericola, but we're gonna have to put him in that B tier. But the next character that we have here is Pesci, who is probably another one of my least favorite villains or of the enemy gang in the show. First off, this dude is exactly what what's his name, prosecute. I don't even know how you say his freaking his name, but he's somewhere on this list. But it's exactly like what one of the other members of the gang said. He's a mama's boy. But after dude died, you know, his partner died, he was like, okay, I'm gonna grow some balls up on me. I'm gonna freaking just go slashing everywhere. Until dude ultimately freaking met his fate of getting ripped apart. He commands a stand, what is it? What's the name of it? Beach Boy. Where it's basically just a fishing pole and stuff like that. So yeah, Pesci's going at that C tier. So the next character that we have here is Jean-Pierre Polnareff in Part 5. Now, for here we see a much different Polnareff. First off, this dude is now handicapped. He has to sit in a wheelchair. His legs are now freaking, or his lower half of his legs are now you know, metal. And his he also has an eye patch on his right eye because he was cut, I think, there. And it's kind of cool because he is in a way, Polnareff is not dead. Well, his physical self is, but his soul is not, because he's still in the turtle. Which I take it that he's still living in it till this day. But yeah, Polnareff was still cool. I mean, we saw Silver Chariot for one last time, and then we saw Silver Chariot Requiem. We basically made everybody switch bodies, basically. It was a really bizarre thing, but we're gonna put him at that B tier. So the next character that we have here is Polpo, who is the original capo of Passion. So you know, dude, isn't Polpo a shapeshifter? Because we've seen this dude freaking transform into a bed. We've seen when apparently this dude has a freaking big ass stomach, because this dude literally guzzled down a huge pepperoni pizza, or just a huge pizza. Like, we literally freaking saw him just freaking guzzle that thing down. Just like, you know what I freaking mean? But he was ultimately killed by Giorno in the end. You know, after Giorno turned his banana into one of the revolvers he had in his in his prison cell. But he was also the guy who to kind of give Giorno the lighter and stuff like that, you know, give him the lighter, you know, so that way he could become part of the Passion. So yeah, I mean, this dude is freaking massive. I didn't even know. I thought this dude had a high-pitched voice at first before I even watched the show. But no, you know, this dude has a deep freaking voice and stuff like that. And yeah, he also killed the freaking man with his stand. I forgot the name of his stand. I forgot about that completely. But yeah, he killed the guy with his stand because the dude reignited the lighter that Giorno was supposed to be holding. So we're going to put Polpo at that C tier. So the next character we have here is Prosciutto. I don't even know how you pronounce his name. Is it Prosciutto? I think. Let's just say Prosciutto. But this is the guy who damn near killed Mista in that one episode. And he's also the guy who was Pesci's partner. I don't know if they were actually... But Prosciutto is... is he kind of a... I actually thought Jotaro Kujo's voice actor, Daisuke Ono actually voice acted him when I first heard his voice. He has a stand to the point where, I don't remember its name, but its ability is to the point where it can basically just make everybody grow old, basically. And the only way to stay the age you are, or to keep, or, you know, to not age at all, is to have something cold, or drink something cold, have something cold on you, or, you know, have what mostly everybody did was have ice cubes on them. So yeah, and then he eventually ended up dying by getting crushed in between two of the train tires and stuff like that, or train tires. But you know what I freaking mean. We put in Prosciutto at that at C tier I'm in. The next character we have here is Risotto, who was probably my favorite of the probably besides Giacchio, my favorite of the enemy gang. Now, first off, the reason why I say this is because Risotto is a extremely high IQ stand user. I know I was actually saying this about on a freaking poll, and I didn't really know where the conversation was. It's just that, you know, since I'm a new JoJo fan, I mean, I'm gonna say a lot of outlandish things, you know, and stuff that seems over the top and stuff like that. But to me, Risotto really is a freaking high IQ stand user. This dude can go invisible. You know, this dude can freaking make just random things just come out of your freaking stomach. Doesn't matter. It could be harmful harmless, it could be harmful, it could be extremely harmful, any of that freaking stuff. But he ended up dying to Aerosmith, probably the cheapest way he could probably freaking die. But Risotto, since he's my freaking one of my favorite freaking villains of the enemy team, we put him in that A tier. But the next character that we have here, I do not know who this is actually. I really don't know who this is. I think this is the two dudes. Was it Sorbet and Gelato? I don't know, but if that's the case, then they met a pretty horrible death, pretty bad death. We never knew anything about their stands if these are the two people, so we're gonna put them at that C tier, you know, stuff like that. But the next character we have here is Seko, I think is his name. Dude is basically, you know, this dude can go underground with this stand. I don't think his stand has a physical form. I think he could just literally go underground. He's also the patient of Chocolata. Now, apparently, in the end, he actually did not like Chocolata because he was like, okay, you know what? But if I just respect him, and, you know, I don't do anything bad toward him, he'll give me everything, right? But that was clearly not the freaking case. So, you know, he was like, bro, why'd you freaking do this to me? I never even liked you in the first place. And he ended up getting killed by, what did he end up getting killed by? Did he get killed by Bruno or no? I don't think he did, but we're going to put him at that C tier. But the next character we have here are Squallow and Tiziano. These are one of the, if not one of the only, if besides Sorbet and Gelato, the only other men that are actually gay couples in the show, because we don't really see that much. We don't see that many stuff like that in JoJo at all. Their stands, one of them can just travel through any type of liquid, and we saw one of them do the thing where he was, you know, where one of them died. He had blood and spurted it all over Narancia, and he was able to have his stand come out. It was like a shark of some sort. I don't know, dude. We're gonna put him at that B tier or C tier. We're gonna put him at that C tier. I'm sorry, dude. The next character we have here is Trish Una, who is, I guess, the later, well, not necessarily protagonist. She's more of a side character, but she eventually masters the stand Spice Girl, or what is it? Spicy Lady is the localized name, but she masters the stand Spice Girl, where basically her ability is just that she's able to basically make anything soft. If you have something, you know, to the point where if you have anything, basically, you can make anything soft. You can even freaking make solid ground soft, as far as I know. But Trish is a person, she's very, I'm not saying not necessarily possessive, but she's very like, she's very, how would you put it? She requires a lot of expensive things. Like when she was first introduced, she was telling the gang like, hey, look, I'm not gonna drink anything. I'd rather just die if I don't get me my mineral water, basically. Her stand's kind of cool. As I said, it can make anything soft, which is, you know, which I kind of find to be cool, because let's say if you fall from somewhere, call in Spice Girl and just freaking have her just like crush something to the point where it can get, like, you know, make something soft, make it a soft landing and stuff, like, which I think was actually seen in the show at one point. But Trish is going at that beats here. But the last character that we have here is, who is this guy exactly? I don't remember his name, but wasn't he one of the guys that were in that car and stuff like that? Or I don't remember his name. Maybe he might have been a more major character, but I don't really remember much of him. But when in doubt, put him at that good old D tier. So that does it for this tier list. This is, as I said, this will be my final tier list of the main parts of JoJo. Maybe soon I will end up doing a tier list for, in my opinion, the best JoJo, which I might actually look for that after this video. But that's it. That's going to be it for this video, everybody. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.